Hey guys, it's Clarice. Just setting up really quickly before we begin. I know I'm a few minutes late. I just want to make sure I have all of this set up before we begin for our session of painting Christmas goodies. I'm just gonna let you guys give you some time for like people to trickle in. And I hope you guys had a moment or a chance to sort of check out this week's tutorials, which was on the gingerbread man and the holiday drink, which kind of looked like a decadent hot chocolate drink. So hope you guys are ready for the session where we are going to continue with doing some Christmas goodies. Now that a lot of our American friends have passed the Thanksgiving season, so to speak. I mean, I know there's still Cyber Monday left, but you know, just kind of making sure you guys are completely out of that before we get on to the next one. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Lydia. I know the lockdown is there, but we have our classes and we have the internet, so thank God for that, right? I'm just going to read the comments really quickly. I don't have a super attractive image for our live today, but I am hoping we can rectify that by doing something really nice. And I'm just making sure that I have my screen on here ready before I go on. We have Gladys. Hi, Gladys. Hi, Jeanette or Janet. Hi, Lillian. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Steffi from Croatia. Oh my gosh, always blows me away that people from all over the world are able to connect. This is so amazing. Hi, Roseanne. Hi, Shelly. Oh, and hello, Kyle Simpson. Okay, all right. So you know what? We're just going to get right into it. I am going to let you know what I have for today. So I have my Canson watercolor paper ready. And I also have the brushes on standby for the Christmas goodies we're going to be doing. I have my Vinci mop brush in the 1, the Silver Black Velvet in the 4, and my Princeton Neptune in the 8. These are my tried and true. This is what I kind of normally use. And I have a pencil just to kind of do a basic drawing. And I have water on the side. I have my paper towel. So just get your paper towel ready. And I don't have a palette, but today I have like a dark cover, which I am going to kind of put paper towel over. I'm kind of doing with whatever I have to kind of mix my colors. And then obviously eraser, because if we're kind of doing a sketch and we don't like how it goes, then we want to erase it before we put the paint on. And for colors, it's my St. Petersburg. Because it's the Christmas holiday season, we're using a couple of basics, which I've realized I've been kind of using as my go-tos. So for my browns, I'm going to tell you from my dark to my lightest. Let me make sure. Yep, here we go. So I have my sepia from St. Petersburg. Put that down. This is the Mars Brown. No, sorry. This is Raw Sienna. This is Mars Brown. So Mars Brown is the lightest. Raw Sienna is my medium. And then for my color, this is the Madder Lake Red. And then I am using my green. And wow, I don't remember this, and I don't have my sheet with me, but this is like a slightly brighter green than the regular. But I do have my umber, which I've been using in the past few times. So like umber and green is what I normally use. And this one is like more of a brighter green. I can't remember what it is, but I'm sure someone can tell me as we kind of go, like we go along. So I'm going to keep my greens aside. So I'm showing you what my go-to browns are, greens are, my red. I also have my my the other red, which is, I know we have the Madder Lake red, and then it's like a crimson, but I have it anyways. I'm gonna try and remember this. I don't have my sheet with me today, guys, so sorry. I'm also going to keep my yellow ochre handy just in case I need it, and we're going to begin. Because we are doing Christmas goodies and we want like a nice cookie base, I'm going to be using my Mars Brown for the base, and then for a medium brown we're going to be using the raw sienna, and then anything shadowy we're going to be using the sepia. Okay, so just keep these things in mind, because typically what we're doing is based on this week's tutorial, which was the nice decadent mug with hot chocolate, and then on YouTube Live is where I did the gingerbread man. So if you guys caught that, that's where I did it, and if you haven't caught it, you can always check it out on my YouTube, which is Hello Clarice G. So HELLOCLARICEG. All right, okay, so we're gonna begin. Enough ramblings from me. I just want to quickly look at the comments before we begin. Hi everyone. Okay, that's Roseanne, that's Shelly. Hi Shelly. If this is your first live, I'm glad you're able to catch it. Hey Jill. How's your little kitty cat doing? I hope he or she is settling in well. Hi Lise. Hi Patty. Do you have bread in the oven? I have to ask you that question. Hi Lori. Hi Yvonne. Hey Brittany. Okay, yes, the emerald green. Yes, Brittany, you're right. Okay, guys. So the green that I couldn't figure out what it was, it is the emerald green. Brittany had it right. Yes, and she also has it right with the red carmine. She probably has the St. Petersburg colors with her. That's what it is. Artie. Hey, Artie. Okay, all right, so let's begin. So today we're going to do the gingerbread cookies, or just sugar cookies in general. And we're going to start off with doing the gingerbread one first. And then we'll do a Christmas tree one, or a holiday tree one, whatever you like to call it. And then we'll kind of go on into embellishments. So we're kind of doing things that we've done previously, but just re-enhancing and practicing during this time together. So I hope you guys are excited. So I'm using my pencil to just do a basic sketch of our gingerbread man first. I'm going to use this section right here. And you know what? Let me know in the comments or in the chat if you guys want to kind of use this as a digital scan and kind of use it in other creations. Because then I think I will make the effort to, let me make sure that you're able to see the screen properly. Is it screening properly? I just want to make sure. Give me 1 second. Because it seems to be kind of zooming in and out of. Let me adjust the screen here. It doesn't seem to be very clear. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the focus, Lillian. Give me a second. I don't know why it's not focusing. Is it the lighting where I am, or? Give me a second to figure this out, guys. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit better so we can get this focused and then begin. If I put my hand in, does it kind of bring in focus? Okay, so it's kind of slightly better, but no, it's still not better according to my standards. I'm going to try a bit more. Give me 1 second to lift this slightly higher, because sometimes I find when it's too close, it doesn't focus as well. It was working just fine just a few minutes ago. Sorry, this is painful, I know. But you can imagine how painful it is for me because here I am trying to get on with my session and it's not working as well. Okay, is this gonna work better? There we go. This is better. Lori, Lillian, Jill, I think everyone can kind of agree with this. I'll just move my sheet slightly higher. Patty, yes, you know how to draw the gingerbread man because you've drawn it already, or you've watched the YouTube live. Okay, I'm gonna try to not move my hand in and out of the screen. I think that's also something that kind of makes my phone. Sorry guys, okay. Let me really try this, because I don't want to have to kind of talk amongst yourselves while I am trying to figure this out. And sorry for the people who are watching this as a rerun and then have to deal with me trying to figure it out. But I'm trying to not lose this connection. Oh, my husband's joined. Hello, Richard Baker. Okay, just gonna try this again. Maybe it's my lighting, because today I'm using like a different setting. Oh, this is aggravating, guys. Can you tell? I have 48 of you people joined in here, and my screen is not able to adjust. It's not. Oh, I'm trying to like move stuff in here. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try and get this out further, and let's see if this is gonna help. Is it the things on the screen?
I'm gonna try it with the corkboard.
Is that gonna help? Okay. "51 people, and I'm still trying to adjust my screen." Okay, hopefully the...
Might be the white on white.
Okay, I'm gonna try one thing that my husband kind of suggested right now, which is to put a cork board below. So let's try that, and maybe this will help. Okay, so let's try this. This might help, it might not. We'll learn something new as a group if it doesn't. All right, so. Okay, putting this higher. I'm gonna have to make a note in the description about exactly when this video is properly viewable, because this is a lot of adjusting time. Okay, I'm gonna let this drop slightly and see if we can adjust. Okay, all right, I think we are finally good. Okay. I moved it and now we are not good again. Ugh, sorry. Okay, I think it needs a little bit of white over there before it can be clear. So let's just stick with this. All right, so we are drawing our gingerbread man. For those of you who have not seen the live on Instagram, we're just doing a circular shape for the head, and then we are doing some arms. And I love that you guys are having a conversation. Continue having your conversation. I'm just gonna go on and do the base drawing for this gingerbread man. So just doing a very basic shape. You can kind of follow along. And now we've done the arms, we're just gonna do our legs. And this is just the way I draw the gingerbread man. So you can feel free to do him any other way you do him. For those who are Shrek, fans of Shrek, If you like the Gingy in there, you can draw him too. It's entirely up to you. Just going to do this guy here. And then I'm going to give him some icing on the side here. And thicken the icing a little bit here so I can kind of go in with my white for this. And then same thing on the legs. And the same thing here. All right. And then let's give him some buttons. And let me try and get the screen on here. Focused again. Sorry, I don't know why it's being so finicky today, but you would think that with extra lighting that it's good, but it's not. Okay, let me try a higher view. Yeah, I think it's official that the worst thing when you're doing a live is not so much the anxiety of what to paint, but the focus. There we go. I think it needs a little bit of white at the top before we do that. Okay, so I'm gonna okay, there we go. It's unfocused again. I'm gonna try and leave it like this. Let me try that again. I'm really sorry, guys. This is maddening to me. But for some reason, it's just not focusing. There we go. I think this is slightly better. Okay, so I'm gonna continue with this. So like I said, we're gonna do our 3 buttons, and then we're just gonna do eyes, and I'm doing them fairly large enough, and then a smile, and then we'll do a Christmas tree. So for our Christmas tree, we're gonna do it right here. And we're just doing like a rectangular shape at the top. And then we'll do another shape at the bottom, kind of protruding. So it's a very basic drawing, guys. Just kind of try to get along or follow along. And we're trying to do our cookies. So you can either add a stump. I'm going to add a small stump, or you can choose to not add one. It's entirely up to you. But this is what I'm going to do and leave it at that. And then, you know what? I'll give it a little bit of icing just like I have for the little swirly bits here. So I'll give some happening here, like a zigzag icing strip. And this is the part we're gonna leave white. Okay, and then let's just give it a couple of baubles. Like one at the top, 2 here, and then like 3 here. Right, and you can add more if you want to, but this is what I'm gonna leave mine at. And we'll move on. So we're gonna paint these guys first before we go on to anything else. So I want you guys to get the cookies down right before we move on. So the first things first, we're going to do our base coloring for this. And for that, I am using my, where are my colors? Oh, here they are. I'm going to be using my Mars Brown. And I like that it's a nice muted enough brown that kind of allows for such cookie bases. So I'm going to use the number 4 first to dampen the area. So I'm going to dampen the area around the head first. And I'm not touching the eyes, I'm not touching the mouth. I'm kind of going around my very rough drawing or sketch of the gingerbread man head. And then I'm going in with my number 8. I have some of the Mars Brown on here, and I'm just going to touch this and allow it to kind of seep into the areas that we have dampened. And you see that it's like the perfect medium brown that looks like a cookie base. So this is what we're using for our base coat before we go in and add any more detail with the medium brown, which is the raw sienna. All right, so we're doing this, continuing with the brown, the medium brown, the number 4. We're adding just water, and all the brown that you see happening right here is because the water has touched the brown we laid on the top, and it's extending to the rest. And we're just kind of wetting the rest of the area, and we're going around the edges where we have icing. And we're spreading it as much as we can. Now you could have taken some of the brown on your brush and kind of done this too, but I'm using 2 brushes on the go. So I'm wetting the area first, and then I'm going in and adding very rough strokes of this brown, because I know it's going to catch only in the areas where it's damp. And I want that so that it gives me that nice blended look, and it still gives me a good enough contour for the areas that are supposed to be in white, and not necessarily white, because we could choose to go in and make them another color entirely. So you could use a light blue or a light pink or a light green, even anything that's holiday like or Christmas like, or just something to add some pop to the base, which is brown. So I'm just wetting or dampening the rest of the area, and then we're going back in with our brown. So going back in with our Mars Brown, I'm going to start off in the edges and just allow the color to run. And again, if you're in this, you are accustomed to, if you're in this tutorial, you are accustomed to the kind of style of painting that I do, which is very loose. And so I'm just trying to get, I mixed a little bit of my medium brown in here as well, accidentally, but I'm just going to kind of go with it because I wasn't planning on doing it, but it's in here, so you might as well do it. Sometimes that happens. I know this is a tutorial, but we all make mistakes, and it's totally fine, and we can work through it, and it's totally fine to own up to it and still figure out a way. So I'm just letting you guys know that this was unintentional, but we can still sort of make it work. So this was the raw sienna. That's right. So getting some more of my medium brown and just doing the rest of it around the edges. And now this is the forgiving thing about watercolor, that you can kind of lay down some color, but if it's light, you can kind of go darker. And just adding the color as you go along to kind of give it a nice base coat and give it a good texture so it looks more like a cookie. that you would want to eat, and you're going along. And it's okay with the white if you get some in the white, because what happens is if you want to create like blue buttons or red buttons or pink buttons, you can kind of leave a little bit of white space and make the rest of it in color. And this way it doesn't look completely out. So just doing the outlines really quickly. And like I normally like to say, if you want to leave white space, absolutely leave some white space. And we're just going around this guy. So we have a nice base coat for him. Just make sure your edges are pretty solid and not overly loose. And we're good. Now we can go in with our medium brown, which is the raw sienna. And I'm just going to use the number 8 again. And just in certain areas, you can highlight like the edges mainly. Areas that are damp, because then it gives you a nice blend. And like I said earlier, if you guys want to use these paintings in other, like digitalize them and use them in other things, let me know. Because you know what, maybe I can do a really quick video tutorial on how you can scan it and then use it in other things. Many of you are scrapbookers, bakers, crochet people as well. I don't know what you call them, sorry. Sewers, and you might want to use them in other, I guess, areas of craft. So just let me know and I can maybe create some videos into how you can use these paintings that we do together on Sundays for other things. Place cards that you want to create for like special family dinners that you do together, or just something with a personal touch when you send to a friend who's sick, or during this time when we're all like social distancing from each other. Okay, so you can see how I've done like the nice shadowy effect there. So we're going to kind of continue with adding some more of that medium brown to certain areas, just to the side, just to one side, to kind of give it that shadowy effect while it is still damp. And this is called layering. So we're doing like wet on wet, kind of going with the whole, it's blending in while it's still damp kind of effect. Just make sure that your edges are fairly straight and they're not loose. The insides can be a nice blend of things. Just between the legs here, I'm going to do a blend so that you can see some of the shadow. And then maybe a tad bit off to the side here at the top and here. And then leaving it at that. And we can kind of go in and do the Christmas tree, since we have our brushes. So for this one, I'm going to use the number 4 again, like we did previously, except this time I'm using some of the brown in it to do the base coat. You can use a larger brush if you wish to make it go quicker, and especially if you have plans to do the icing bits that we've created in here in a different color, then you can totally do a light wash of this brown ahead of time. And this is just if you don't have the patience to kind of wait for the base water wash and then kind of go in and do the light color and then the medium color and then the dark color. So you have a couple of different ways of doing this. It really depends on your patience level and what you want to achieve. So I'm just showing you a couple of different ways of doing the exact same thing. You might get different results depending on how much creativity and effort you put into it. I think a lot of you have mentioned things about not being able to get a certain look and blend. I have to mention and say that it could be a couple of reasons. It's either because your colors you're using aren't quite the same as what we're using here, or because colors are a huge difference or a huge impact. So is the paper. So make sure you're kind of using a similar enough paper. I don't think I'm using a paper that's very, very expensive. It's on the contrary, it's actually one of the cheaper papers, but it gives you great, what's the word? It's great for practice, and you can get some great results if you know exactly what you're doing with the paint. So on top of the paper and the color that you're using, what's important is the consistency of how you're mixing your colors. So sometimes it could be that you have the perfect paint and the perfect paper, but you're just not mixing the colors to the proper consistency. So keep these things in mind before you decide to either not do watercolor again or turn to another medium, because these are also very, very important things to keep in mind. So I've done these two things very, very differently. I'm going back in with this just to highlight a couple of areas. And I'm just doing them in the darker color right now. Sorry, the lighter color again. But I'm just adding some dampness, and then I'm going to go in with the medium, and then finally the darkest will be used for like major shadow that we use at the very, very end. So this is still the Mars brown we're using. And you can use these gingerbread, I guess you can do these cookies for any of the other shapes that you do maybe at home even. I'm just doing the Christmas tree and the gingerbread man because they are the most common ones that we kind of use, at least on our end here in Toronto, Canada. But I think you can do like hollies and like a whole bunch of other ones. So feel free to like be creative with your cookies. Maybe you have some family recipe cookies that you do on the regular. Yeah. Okay, so that's the base brown. Now I'm going to go in with my number 4 and get some of the raw sienna. And while it is still damp, I'm just going to do exactly what I did with the gingerbread cookie man and give it some dark texture. And if you feel like your area has dried up, what I need you to do is just lay down your color and then go in with your number 8, dip the tip in water, and then just kind of blend it out just in the area where you end the coloring. Like you've gone from the edge to here, so just at the edge so it blends in with the light color and it doesn't look so abrupt. But yeah, cookies are typically like a gradient of different browns. So you're in good hands if you're using the correct browns and they blend in well and blah, blah, blah. So just keep going at it and have fun with it, guys. Like don't stress out in terms of like, oh my gosh, this looks like a really burnt up cookie. Then I guess you've created a burnt up cookie. That's okay. You can try it again and make it a proper cookie if you wish. I'm just going to quickly do these highlights before I check your comments again, and then we can do the decoration on it. I'm just adding a thinner line on this side as this is the thicker line, because you don't want to make it look too like this color is just not anywhere else in the cookie. So you want to make it and then I'm just blending this side out and leaving it that way. So now just taking more water on my number 4 and blending out this area so it's not abrupt. And then we're going off into these areas here. So another thing you could do is, if you've checked out the holiday drink tutorial that I posted this week, you can do these cookies beside it and placing it however you want. But there's an idea if you want to send someone who loves food like I do, a card with just majority like cookies on there. All right, so we've done the base. Now we can go ahead and do the eyes and whatever else. I think it's good if we leave these areas of the guy, sorry, just the 1, 2, 3, 4, the little swirly areas of the gingerbread man white, and we'll do the buttons in a color and the eyes and the mouth, I guess. So I think for the buttons, I'm gonna use the Madder Lake red. So I'm just gonna get a dark enough color on the number 4, and I am going to create, I'm going to paint the circle in, but I'm going to leave a little bit of white space, like a circle in the center. So draw out your center and then paint in the rest. That is the way I do it. So just like this. And then do another one here. And try and keep the white space that you create for the center in the same space. So then it looks like it's a glisten of light, like in the same area. Same thing up here. There we go. So we've got like our 2 areas there. And then if you want to add in a little bit of like a darker color to it, you can either add some of the other red or add in some of the violet, just to kind of give it a hint of like another color on there. I am not able to find my violet. I just had it. Oh, here it is. The violet from St. Petersburg. So I'm just going to get some of the violet and just add a couple of drops at the top. Not drops, sorry. I just used the tip of it onto my number 4, and I'm just dabbing it at the top. And then I just want it to blend in with the pink or the Madder Lake red that we've kind of put in, and give it some shadow. And then once we've done that, I think we're good. We can do the eyes and the mouth. Like, it's up to you what colors you want to do. You can make them fun. You can leave them white. It's entirely up to you. Use your creativity. I'm going to use a tad bit of this cobalt blue. And don't ask me why I'm using blue, but I think I'm feeling adventurous today. So I'm going to use some blue and add it to the mouth. You could use some lighter blue if you want. I'm just going to paint in the mouth, but I'm going to leave like a sliver of white at the bottom. So I'm highlighting or outlining the mouth or the smile. And then I'm just going to paint in the top area and leave like a sliver of white below. If that makes any sense. So just like that. And we can, again, like I said, we can leave the eyes white. We can leave, we can leave the eyes white, just like the rest of them. It's, again, it's entirely up to you. You can take it a step ahead and kind of leave the eyes white, but make the centers dark. And we can use our sepia for the centers and just do like a dot. So if you want to give them an additional, more realistic look, so kind of have, I need a nice consistency of it. So like less water, more color, and then create a circle on the circle we've drawn. Paint a circle and leave white space inside. I hope he doesn't look like the clown from It, but if he does, maybe add some mistletoe and like cover it up. I don't know. Just a suggestion. Okay, so just trying to do this eye and leave some white space in between, leaving the rest of it like completely white. And then we're gonna go in with our shadow, and then this way we end off with this guy. And it is that simple. So literally you can make different shapes and kind of do your own thing. Okay, so then the next thing we're gonna do is do our shadows. And for our shadows, we're gonna use the sepia. So I'm gonna mix some of this onto my palette on the side. I'm not gonna show it to you because it's like extremely dark and you can't really see it. I can barely see it, so I'm just gonna assume that you can see yours. And we are mixing some on the side, and we are highlighting using our thin brush. So whether you have a number 4 or any other brush, just highlight the bottom. We just want to give it some shadow at the bottom, and this way it looks like it gives it more of a realistic dimensional feel. Now this has more water on mine, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if it gives you that dark to light effect. But I was really hoping for a more like darker, stronger consistency with the colors. So I'm going to try that for the sides of the hands. And so for the hands, we're going to do, this is dry, right? Yeah. So I'm just going to do some on this side, a thinner line, and then a slightly broader base here. It's all about perspective, right, guys? Like when you look at it from bird's eye point of view, it should make sense to you. So hopefully I have my shadows correct. If I don't, and you know exactly how to do it, please do what you feel is correct. I'm just kind of going with it right now since I'm in the groove. Retouching the legs here a bit. And just slightly at the tops. And then, yeah, this is coming out quite nicely. And then finally the eyes, and we got to do the mouth and the buttons. So for the eyes, I know we've used the same color for the eyes inside. We don't want this guy to look like he's got raccoon eyes. Or if any of you have tried to get, what's the look? Smoky-eyed look, and you've tried it and it's been disastrous. Let's not give this guy that. So I'm going to use my number 8, and with just water on it, I'm just going to blend out the bottom. Hopefully it doesn't have too much water so it doesn't look very, very twisted. Okay, now he looks slightly better, I think. And then finally at the bottom, we're going to give him a shadow on the mouth. And then on the buttons as well. And same thing here. And this is the bit that I missed out on my IG live. If you checked it out, I didn't have the time to kind of go ahead and do the shadowy effects for the detailing. But you can make these gingerbread men a whole more, like add a lot more detail to it, and then just make sure you add your shadowy effects to it, and then it gives it a nice completed look. Mine looks a little bit too real, right? I haven't read any of your comments yet, but let me finish the Christmas tree and then we'll kind of go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna give the Christmas tree some of the highlights we did for just like the gingerbread man. And for that, we're gonna start off with the swirl. And I want to give it just the bottom of the swirl some of this. Just trying to give it some perspective. So just follow suit if you're unsure. And then same thing with the the decorative elements that we have on here. I'm just trying to not spend too much detail, spend time with giving it too much detail, but just kind of giving it some underlining, toning. There we go. And it already gives it a little bit of like right? Again, we're kind of keeping it very what's the word? Loose, but at the same time fun for all of us to do. And so now I'm using the green that, no, this is the that's the umber green. I'm going to use the emerald green. I mix some of the umber with the emerald, and I'm going to give some of these little baubles a little bit of green hint. So paint the baubles that you've not freshly painted the under paint on, and leave a little bit of white space in between. And again, this is supposed to be fun, guys. Like, if you mess up, don't worry, like, do it again. It's supposed to be relaxing and fun and get you into the mood for the season. And if you don't feel like you got it right the first time, because maybe this is a new technique to you, just do it again. Like, it's okay, just try it again, and trust me, it'll be so much better because you know exactly how you went wrong the first time. So I did some blue. I'm going to do some of the, I did some green. I'm going to use some of the exact same blue that I used on the mouth there, which is like really bright, and create some blue on here. Again, I'm leaving some white space in between so it looks like the baubles are glistening. And then for the final color, we're gonna make it red, because I think red is the main color for the season, or pink, or whatever color you want to do. I'm gonna make it my Carmen red. So we're doing the Madder Lake red. And again, we're not doing crazy complicated techniques here for this, guys. So please do not feel overwhelmed. I want you to get used to these techniques, but also like have it be more fun than stressful for you. Because I know watercolor is very fun, but sometimes if you're too ingrained in how it should look, it can be pretty stressful for a lot, especially the perfectionist in the group. So try and let go of that and kind of just make it fun. So this is how I would typically do that. You can kind of stress with the shadows, for instance, like I can give a little bit more shadow around the bottom. So I'm going to get some onto my number 4 and just get it highlighted at the bottom some more of the tree. I think the gingerbread man has pretty good detail, but you can add some at the bottom and then wash off all the color, and using the same brush just kind of do a very light wash. And this is what's fun for me. If you've watched my holiday drinks tutorial or any of the other recent ones, I like to kind of go at the bottom and add some water, like a water wash, touching what I recently placed and getting a blend so it looks like a shadow, and the water just like seeps in. So play around with that, because then how it kind of phases out is just by adding a whole bunch of water on the out. And then if you feel like your seep of color hasn't been strong enough, no worries, just go back in for your darker color, add it in that area, and it'll seep out. And it gives you a nice blend. And then it doesn't look too forced or like that's not natural. Same thing on this side with this guy here. Gonna add some extra color here because I think it kind of dried up. And there we go, just like add the shadow wherever you see fit. So I'm just kind of showing you how to do shadow. This is my favorite way of doing shadows. Again, if you've done the drinks tutorial, which is like fancy drinks, and I mean like alcoholic drinks, it's gotten like a nice flare of colors. That's from last year, by the way, so you should check the holiday play mix that I've made and you can check it out there. So this is how I would do the cookies. How much time do we have? We have 15 minutes. Do we want to do a little more like red and green stuff? Let me check out what some of the comments have been like. Well, I'm glad you guys like the cookies. Sounds like everyone likes the cookies. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of correction in my videos because I'm not perfect. I don't profess to be perfect. I do the watercolor for fun. And so as I go along, if I mess up, I let you guys know. Yes, Cindy, I think you should totally use the metallic color. I think it would be great, especially for the embellishments. That would be cute. And especially once I let this dry and like erase the pencil markings, I think it'll look great. Jeannie, what did you spell wrong? Oh, okay. No worries. I'm glad I'm able to de-stress you. Definitely get on this, Jeannie. Okay, awesome. Okay, I think I've read everyone's comments. I'm just going to really quickly do a few more embellishments to this. Not embellishments really, but like add-ons that you can add to this, to your cookies. I've only done a gingerbread man and a Christmas tree, but you can feel free to use this technique for any other shapes and decorate or add detail to it in any other way you could. Like for the gingerbread man, we could have added a bow tie to it. But really quickly, I'm going to show you yesterday's tutorial that we did, which was the Christmas wreath. So if you haven't caught it yet, definitely catch it. I'm going to use some of the red that I have here. It's not the Madder Lake red. It is the Brittany, where are you? Help me out here. Which red is this? I'm going to do the berries first and push this up slightly more. And leaving some white space in between. Carmen, that's it, Brittany. And then now I'm going to create another one, but I'm dipping the tip of my number 4 in water. And I'm going to create another berry, touching this one. And it's a lot lighter. You could take an entirely new brush and create this second berry. So now I'm going to use my number 8 with just water on it. I'm going to create the third berry. Touching the previous two. I wasn't able to leave some white space in this one, but that's okay. I have a nice blend of all three together in 3 different color variations, color consistency variations, because it's the same color. And now we're gonna use the green. Let's use the green first. Actually, no, let's use the umber first because it's the lighter one. So we're using the umber green, and I'm using the number 4. And just touching some of the red, I'm going to extend out into a stem. And then I'm going to extend into another stem and a third one here while it's still damp. And then let's do one here too, and here, and here. And then getting some of the green. I haven't washed up my brush. I'm gonna quickly draw in just some plain lines. And these are extremely loose, fun to do, minimalistic, and colorful. And You can use different color consistencies, and by that I mean how much water you blend in. And you don't have to use multiple colors, so it's not stressful on that level. You can kind of fluctuate between the umber and the green and kind of just add your strokes. Minimalistic, a lot of white space, guys. A lot of the times you're not very satisfied with how things look is because the amount of white space that you have in there isn't enough to kind of give you that feel of it's not one big glob of paint. So you can fluctuate between the umber green and the green from St. Petersburg and just create lines and leave your white space and you're good to go. And make sure that the red is kind of seeping into it. And you see you have like a really loose little Christmas embellishment that you could use on your cookies or a cake or anything else really for that matter. And then if you want to actually make it more of an oval shape, you can add additional leaves to it. And for that I can use some of the umber and mix it with some of the Mars brown and just kind of add some embellishments. So just kind of adding something like that, like a strand like that, and just like leaves. Just like that. And you're mixing a couple of colors. Leaving your white space. Blending your colors in, but leaving it very loose, right? So then this way, if you're not, like, you don't have to like account for something that hasn't gone to your liking. So just something like that, like that's very loose. Like you could make that into a wreath, and you can refer to the wreath that I posted yesterday to how to get that kind of nice oval shape. But it's got a nice pop of red, it's got some browns, it's got some greens, and like you're good to go. And the last thing I would do is really just maybe take a variation of the other red and just kind of do a couple of dots here and there, because there's a lot of red berries in holiday things. And if you want to do a spray of things as well, that would work. But adding dots in any variation, whether green or red, really makes everything pop, in my opinion. So feel free to do that. And you can just see how a couple of dots really makes it more rich, I guess. But yeah, so this is my quick tutorial for today, guys. Try and use these elements and embellish and create your own thing. Send it to me on YouTube. Sorry, not YouTube, obviously, because you can't send it here. On Facebook or Instagram. You can follow me there or just send me a DM. I love seeing your work. I love being tagged in it. I hope I'm helping you on your journey, and I hope it's more of a therapeutic one as opposed to stressful. And yeah, let me know in the comments how you like it. And if you like this video, please share it and please like it. Obviously hit the like button, that's what I mean. I'm going to read the comments really quickly before we end off. Lillian, stressed with creating roses, but keep practicing. That sounds good. Don't give up on the roses. They are so satisfying to do, especially once you nail it. Can I do a tutorial on layering and shadows as a technique lesson? Yes, for sure. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Perhaps next Sunday we can do something that's a little more focused on things like this. Lillian, Friday. Oh, do a holly, please. This wasn't quite a holly, but yes, okay, maybe next Sunday I will focus more on a holly teamed in with the layering and shadows. Thanks, Brittany, for saving me with the name there. Okay, great, awesome. So it sounds like everyone wants to see a holly, even though I feel like I've done many hollies, but maybe not enough. Yes, and also a tutorial on how to digitize your work. Glad I'm helping you guys. Thanks, Kim. Okay, awesome. So next Sunday, join me. We will do something on layering as per Cindy's request, and we'll also do something which involves a holly. So I really love how this turned out, guys. So let me know what you think. And I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. And again, I'm having problems with the... Oh, there we go. It's good. Okay. Awesome. Great. So I think that's it. So thanks so much, guys, for joining. I will, maybe I'll do a tutorial on digitizing these guys, and then you can see exactly how it's done. And I'll list all the scanners and whatever you need. But thanks so much, guys, for watching, and have a fabulous Sunday, and we'll chat soon. All right. Bye.